All right, welcome everyone. Today I have Nicole Rombaoa, sorry. Another trainer on the island in Hawaii, on Oahu. Which gym do you work at right now?
I work at UFC Gym Waikele.
Okay. And how long have you been doing that? Well, first off, how did you get into training and stuff? And like, how long have you been doing it, etc.?
I'm actually a relatively new trainer. I just started doing this maybe about a year ago. I believe September had made an official year since I've become a trainer. And I got into this because of my own weight loss journey.
And do you care to go into that and describe that for us?
So I started at 200 pounds to a stage weight of 125 pounds. I myself am a bikini competitor with NPC. I've only done like local competitions here on the island on Oahu. And through that whole journey, it was more about how I ended up finding myself just beyond my physical transformation. I did want to lose the weight. That's pretty much what any person's dream who like goes into and really just wants to like make themselves be physically better. I wanted to lose the weight, but I had been inspired by like old classmates back at UH who were bodybuilders themselves, and it was like a 10-year, oh, maybe I'll do that one day. So when I got to my goal weight, which was 165 and then down to 145, I was like, you know what? Told Eddie, which was my trainer at personal at 24 Fitness in Pro City, like, I want to get on stage. And we did it. Pushed it all the way through, and I saw so much value in purpose there was to being a personal trainer because he helped me rediscover myself. And I wanted to do that. Honestly, I also got pushed into it after losing my old job.
Yeah, I've noticed there's a percentage of people that try the weight loss or competing thing, and it's almost like they finally find something for them as far as, I don't know if it's the structure or the fact that they realize that how they look and perform is actually in their own control. I think a lot of people have that type of wake-up call saying, you know what, I actually can look however the hell I want as long as I do A, B, and C. And for some people, that can be a very powerful feeling, and it could be it could totally it could be an epiphany for people. So I've been through the same thing myself. So, I mean, I definitely know where you're coming from there. Now, when was the last time you competed?
Last time was the Aloha Muscle. That was my last one back last year, 2019, in September.
Okay. And shoot, we usually have a lot, but I think this year we're only having that one in December, right?
Yeah, this year's a wash. You know, the whole COVID thing and shows get put back.
Yeah.
I also use this year to build, right? At least for me.
Yeah. I mean, it sucks, but I'm glad somebody held out and still having a contest at the end of the year. It's going to be nice to go to one and kind of feel normal a little bit because, you know, here in Hawaii, we have them like, it seems like every couple of months there's a contest here.
Mm-hmm.
So it's good to see that somebody's going to have one. Were you ever into anything like sports or anything like that growing up, or is this getting into the fat loss, getting into the competition, your first experience like training or anything like that?
It's my first experience, like I guess training like an athlete, but I've been a dancer since I was 5. And when I say dancer, a lot of people always ask me like, oh, you were just a hula dancer. No, I started with hula when I was 5, and then I went into a studio called Sabrina Star, which is now Pare Dua in Waipahu, and I moved on into 24/7 and Studio 808, and I did pretty much everything from like ballet, jazz, hip hop, lyrical. So I think that has helped me personally, just the way how I move and how I'm aware with my body.
Yeah. So when it came into like isolating muscles and stuff, you probably caught on to it a lot quicker than somebody else because you've known how to use your body and stuff through dance for so long.
Oh yeah, I'm a great mimic. At least that's what Eddie tells me. He says I'm a good mimic. I can watch and I can understand how to move something, maybe in like a couple of movements. It takes me a bit, but Um, I noticed that when I train some clients who don't have that, it takes a lot of cueing in the coach.
Yeah.
Really break it down. But that's fun for me.
Yeah. Finding ways to try to force people to stimulate that muscle, so you kind of, it's almost like you're programming them, and you'd be like, okay, that what you're feeling, that's what it's supposed to look like. So when you do this exercise, that's what you're looking for. And some people don't have that. So I mean, like me, growing up in the South and doing a lot of yard work and stuff, I caught on to it quicker.
Yeah.
But I have also had people that have just, seems like they've never been out of a chair, and you have to find ways to like force them to get that stimulation so that the nerve impulses get stronger and they find the muscles better. I know this when I go through your Instagram and stuff, I find a lot of, you post a lot of good motivational stuff. Some of it I can resonate with. And it's one of the things that got me to contact you to talk about this is because, like I said, I can resonate with some of the stuff you post. Is that stuff like getting from it? You find stuff that relates to stuff you've experienced yourself, or is that why you post it, or what's the?
Well, I just love posting inspirational stuff. I think I always have done it for years in like Tumblr and Twitter over several accounts way in the past. But more so ever since I got into I guess you could say bodybuilding and training, because along my journey, I noticed that, well, I posted not just for myself, but also it seems that other people need to hear and they resonated with it too. So specifically, it's like you really do just need to stop worrying about what other people think. And this goes in anything, like in anything that we do, right? Whether it's we want to pursue in something that we're passionate about in our professional lives or in a hobby. I'm taking on trying to learn like acting and voiceover and modeling, and everybody wants to be like somebody else, but really you want to stand out. So for you to stand out, you need to stop thinking that you need to be like this one person or be like this lineup of people, and just be you. Because, if you've been thinking about pursuing whatever you're pursuing for so long, like you just need to get there. Just go for it. And that's one of those things that I love to post about it. It's also about being your biggest cheerleader, because you really can't rely on other people to be there for you. And that's something I've experienced along my way, where my closest, it's who I thought were my closest friends and family, they weren't always there when I thought I needed them. And it was like the people who I haven't even met, whether it's through like social media or even people who are like across from the gym, they support me. And I was like, wow, that's so powerful. At least that's what I thought so anyways. I don't know. What do you think?
No, that's I was actually thinking with the technology stuff we have now. A lot of times people will think that they're alone in something they want to pursue or a way they think or a mindset, but then when they start posting quotes and stuff that they like, they start seeing there's other people that think the same way they do. And what something I also preach to people about when they come to me for training was what you mentioned. Your environment and your group of friends is going to change as you start changing your goals, but what happens is it molds around you. So if once you were this, like for me, I used to party a lot and shit. Now I get into training, so I start shifting over that. And you start noticing friends are being left behind, but at the same time, you're gaining new ones because now you're finding people that are doing the same thing you're doing. So if you keep going down a path that you really want, I mean, there's only a short transition period that you're going to be alone, and people are going to start. You're going to start finding people that are similar, and then you're going to be okay. But I think that that transition period is where people get uncomfortable and they're afraid to tread into that because it's different.
Yeah.
But once they get through that, you're in this whole different this normalized lifestyle, and everything's okay after that because now you're set in a new schedule, new routine, supporters and all this stuff.
Yeah. Well, I found that when you get into something like this, or you just like chase after whatever you're passionate about and you're relentless and moving towards that goal, you're right. You get those people who you wanted to be friends with when you were just starting, and they just become your friends. Like you don't even, there's that void in the very beginning. It was like, how do I get there? Like you feel so intimidated by those people. They look like giants. They look they look like superheroes to you, but what is that saying? It's like work so hard until your idols become your friends or something like that.
Oh yeah, I've
Like,
never heard that. That's good.
yeah, like you, it's that tunnel vision aspect where you kind of get lost into it, and the people who don't understand, they'll just fall off.
Yeah.
And that's okay. Like, it's hard because a lot of us are still attached to those people, and that's fine. But like, honestly, what helped me is that when I went through my own journey, is like they just kind of left me. Like, I would move forward, but they weren't there to support me when I thought I needed them, and they would still ask for my support. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
Well, sometimes those people become followers too. Like you're in a group, and it's almost like you break away, and you'll notice on down the road these people start hitting you up for advice, and they start getting older, so now they want to start getting into a cleaner lifestyle. They start coming to you, and you realize, oh, I'm leading now. Used to you were trying to do what they were doing and be in that group, and then when you finally break off and do your own thing, some of them it tends to do a 180. And some of these people you're friends with are now followers, and you're still friends and stuff, but now they're coming to you instead of you trying to go to them to be in the crowd or whatever.
Yeah. And that's where you just got to keep being. It almost seems selfish, right? Where you just keep being relentless and doing what you want. But if you just keep at it, and don't be a jackass about it, like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, don't be an asshole. But like, you get to a place to keep being humble and keep showing how you are overcoming each struggle you're facing. Because I think I wrote this in my notes where I said there's like a short romance with people who always show their best side all the time. Like, yeah, it's cool that you always see like the nice pictures, but that's only a small like pinpoint or like a small aspect of your life. A lot of people fall in love with the people who are struggling and they overcome it. It's like you become their hero because they see that, oh, I struggle too. You've struggled before. Maybe you can help me because you've been there before.
Yeah, it's true. It's kind of like how people always pull for the underdog.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Being into training, have you found what your specific niche or whatever is as far as what type of person or what type of goals you cater to, or are you still trying to find that?
I'm still trying to find it, but I noticed that my I guess my expertise or my niche is taking someone who was just like me when I started, very intimidated, scared, like insecure about working out, especially in a large corporate size gym. Even just like getting onto the weight room floor, and that's how I was. Like when I first started, I was a cardio bunny. I would just
Yeah.
be on the elliptical, the treadmill, and that's all I did when I went to the gym. I would attend every single class. That's all I did. But I would also be the one who's in the corner. I would bring like a workout program that I found on the internet and try to follow it in the dark in the cardio room.
Yeah.
I was that person. I was that person who was even too ashamed to work out doing the same routine that my personal trainer would show me. I would actually hide from him. I was that person. I don't know.
What made you break from that? What made you finally say, okay, I got to try something different?
Um, Really, that's when I hired Eddie as my personal trainer. In the back of my head, I was this many times. I've had so many different gym memberships. I've tried so many different diets. I've tried so many different programs and I failed at each one. Maybe I should just get actual help from somebody who knows what they're doing, give me a routine and stick to it. Like someone to help me stay accountable. And that that relationship that was built really also helped me get comfortable with using equipment, being next to people who work out like me, being in front of people who I used to be intimidated by, like being overweight, completely unsure and insecure about my own body, and just being in the middle, like by the dumbbell rack. That's terrifying if you don't know what you're doing because
Yeah.
you're still of judgment. So I like finding people who are like that because I've been there And if I can make them feel comfortable by showing them a few places around the gym, getting them to understand that when you look at yourself in the mirror, you're not vain. You're working on you, and everyone else around you is working on themselves too.
Yeah.
And I've also learned that although us gym rats, but we might look really intimidating, especially when we're super focused and with these masks on now, like we look even more intense.
Yeah.
We're like the nicest people. They just say hi, and we just go hi, and we like when we weren't wearing our masks, we'd smile and all that. And,
A lot of us have been in that situation where they're at. They don't realize that.
yeah, a lot of us, a lot of them think like, oh, they're just, what's the word, like meatheads or something like that, or
Yeah.
that's what they do, like, or stuck up. Like, no, not all of us are like, some of them are, but majority of us aren't. Like, we understand what it feels like to feel alone, and if you want help, we'll be happy to help you.
Yeah, as you start training, you start finding people that have similar experiences that you do, and that because of course you're able to relate to them better, so it's going to trigger.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember when I was a kid, I first went to the gym, had no idea what I was doing, and so it's like me with trying to deal with people that lose weight, and I know exactly the obstacles they're already putting in their head, and some get surprised because they already know what I'm going to say that's going to get under their skin, or that's either going to make them quit or they're going to push through it. And it's like, how do they know this? Like, because I've been there. It's just a matter of finding what group that you resonate better with like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just do that by experience, and you find out that the majority of your clients have this similar experience that you've had, and you relate with them better. I mean, that's more into like the marketing aspect, I guess, of training, but you being in the same position as some of those people that come in, they're scared to go. It helps. What I'm getting to is that it helps you relate to them better, so they're going to start feeling more comfortable with you,
Mm-hmm.
and then you start walking them through the stuff and realize, hey, this isn't so bad. You just have to. I usually tell people, most of the people you're thinking are looking at you in here are too busy posting selfies on Facebook to even worry about what you're doing. So whenever you're in doubt, just go through Facebook. When you see all your friends' photos, they're not looking at you, so you're fine. What tactics do you use? Like, you find somebody that's kind of unsure about coming in the gym, or they don't know what to do. You say you start specializing and help people feel more comfortable. So what tactics do you use to do that?
Well, so say that because I work in a commercial gym and the membership team has a potential member come in, and they want to sign them up for personal training, like a starter package. I do not do the hard salesman thing. Oh, no. I don't do that. Being that I let them introduce me, so I can get a feel as to how they feel about like having a trainer come up to them, and so they can get a feel for me. But I immediately go into hi, my name is Nicole. I'm a personal trainer. If you want to know more about me, we can look up. But I also remind them that I know you're new, and if you want to like learn a few things here and there, just know that you can always come up to me. So they have like a friendly face that's like official in the club. And I'll always be around, and if I see them again, like I'll always say hi to them. But if they do end up booking a starter session with me, and I find out what they like to do, I take them through a tour, and I really just like throw them right onto the gym floor. That of course is also dependent on what their goals are, right? But if they've never been into a gym before, and they're like, I want to get toned, I want to look like her, or I want to look like him, I want to lose fat, and if I ask them like, oh, what do you do, and they say all I do is stay on the machine or go in classes, I do exactly what I went through to feel comfortable onto the floor. Go to a couple of machines, like the cable machines, the isolation machines, the dumbbell rack, so they not only feel comfortable on the floor, but they also can feel welcomed in that area. They no longer feel like there's this like curtain of like intimidation when they walk in.
I know some of this is due to just like the fear of the unknown, which is natural. Anything that we don't know about, we're going to be scared of at some point. Do you think another part of it is that they're not comfortable with themselves, with how they look, and that's why they're afraid to go over there because their insecurities or their, they see how people look over there and they think, they're not welcome just because they don't look like they fit in?
Oh yeah, definitely. Before I became a frequent gym goer or a gym addict, quote unquote, I was so intimidated by everybody. Even like the old ladies who would go and take Zumba classes because I knew they could outwork me at the time. So yeah, I believe it's a lot of negative perception that they already have just like going into it. And that's not just about themselves, but also if they've tried everything, they probably see exercise as a punishment, right? For like not eating right or, not adhering to what their doctor had told them. They don't see it as a way as therapy, as a therapeutic way for, take care of themselves. And being that I've gone through that phase, you and I look intimidating as fuck, right?
Yeah.
Like if you were just to walk in, you're like, oh my god, wow. Especially if like you don't know what you're doing. But like I said before, we're really really nice, and it's not until you keep coming in and you get associated with the area around you, and having a trainer really helps with that because it's like you have an assigned buddy,
Yeah. Yeah.
who's there to like protect you. And I try to make trainings fun and not like you're gonna do this and not be a drill sergeant. No, I don't. Especially if they feel that way.
Yeah.
That way, it's like they can come in if they see me. They have a friend who's there. They can ask questions. They can text me. That's how I like to start changing their perception.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. It kind of walking them into it, and they have that liaison fact, like as being with you to get into there. It kind of a comfortable way of getting in there. I see that. What do you usually see happen after you get started doing this? Like, how do you start seeing them change? What signs do you see that everything's getting better? Like, so because I've seen people that will completely do a 180 once that light's at the end of the tunnel. Like people that have been overweight all their life, they never seen shit, and then one day they put their pants on, it's a little bit looser, and then all of a sudden they are stuck to everything. They won't come off the diet. They keep pushing hard because now they finally believe that they can do it. Because that light's at the end of the tunnel. What do you usually see as people start getting more comfortable, or how do you know everything's going to be all right?
So there's always little signs, right? Like in the very beginning, say you're working with somebody who knows nothing. They don't know anything, and it's their first time like lifting, for example. This is usually a girl, any age, and they come in and I tell them, okay, so we're going to take this barbell and we're going to do a deadlift. And they're like, I don't know what that is. Oh my gosh. And then I show them how to do it, and they go through the movements. I correct the movements as they go, and they don't really know what the weight is, but when you tell them what it is, and they're like, oh my god, what? I just lifted that much? And that's like the first trigger. The first trigger, because you see their eyes light up just a little bit, and you see their confidence go up because they realize for the first time that they're stronger than they thought they were. And that just sets a snowball effect into their attitude. So it opens up their attitude, and they want to try different workouts. They want to try pushing different weights because they're always marketed, like these light little baby weights, the pink ones or the pretty colorful ones, or just cardio or just body weight. But when they see that they can move things that they thought that were heavy, it like unlocks like a completely different person in them.
Yeah.
And like I absolutely love them. And then when they share their other goals that they had that they didn't share with me from our initial session, like I wanna learn how to act, or I want to be an extra, or I want to get on TV, or I want to do this. Like, it's like where was all, and you know that it's because they were able to overcome or achieve a goal that they didn't realize that they had just by lifting weights, but just by showing to themselves that they are stronger than they thought they were.
Yeah, I mean, people will come in and say, "I just want to drop, like, get into these pair of pants," and they do that, and some of them get, okay, well, fuck, what else can I do? You know, it's they get that aspect, and like you're right, when they get that first hurdle they thought they could never do, they get that, like, oh wow, well, if I could do that quick, what? I mean, what if I really put everything into it? What could I get done? And some people, I mean, there's a small percentage that get there and they're like, I'm good and happy, and they go off on their own. But then there's some that get bit by the bug, as we say, you know, especially with competing, and they'll do it and they're like, okay, I've got plenty of time left before I die. How much more can I get done? And then that's it. It's just they keep going and going,
Mm-hmm.
and that's a really cool thing to see. And as a trainer, it's very rewarding to see that when you help somebody with that. This is definitely a job that never gets old. Every time somebody gets in shape or gets on stage that used to be overweight or something, it feels just as good as the first time you help someone. It never gets dull. I think it's one of the reasons why I'm trying to been making it work for so long as an actual career instead of just a side gig. Because it's challenging and always rewarding, and I never get numb to it.
Yeah.
Seeing people completely their point of view and lives completely change over just going in a gym and moving some weights around, because that's, I mean, you could simplify it to that, but then when you get in there and you do it and you see how you can transfer those traits onto other things in life to accomplish other goals. Yeah, you're going there and you're moving weights around, but look at just the determination, the dedication, overcoming obstacles, all those little things put together that now you can apply to anything else in life and about do whatever you want. So that's why when people start doing the stereotypes about the gym rats and the meatheads, I'm like, you have no idea what you can learn in this room with these weights. You can learn a lot of shit that you don't have, which is why you're still in the same spot you've always been in, because you haven't come in here and tried to push yourself. There's a lot of good things come from this. Even if you like 50% effort into it as like a competitor, you just come in here to kind of get a sweat and feel good and go, wow. I mean, just that much dedication and discipline you can always apply to other stuff and do better in.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a lot to do with if you come in and your mentality is to do something difficult, the moment you achieve it, whether it's a PR or just getting that 1 hour grueling cardio over, or just getting your routine in for the day before your day even starts, or after your whole work day, like you just feel so much better that you did it. You were disciplined enough to get your butt into the gym and work on something to improve yourself.
Yeah. There's times where I've gotten up and, you know, me and you both have been to Pro Stadium cardio early as hell in the morning. And, you know, you get up and you're like, I really don't want to do this. But if you don't do it, I'd rather force myself to do it and be done than to be beating myself up in my head all day because I was too lazy to go in the morning and I didn't go. And then all day it's just like in my ass. I'm just pissed off because I was like, man, you know, I could have been a step closer if I just got my ass out of bed and just went. I mean, I didn't really do anything else productive with that hour, so I might as well have went and done it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I'd rather just push through and get it done.
Mm-hmm.
And that's another thing people learn. I mean, especially for people that are trying to lose weight, like it's not always going to feel good. It'll feel good to start with, but when you get to a certain point and you really have to push, burning fat feels like shit. It does not a good feeling. It's very tired. And there's sometimes where even if everything's working perfectly, your body's still going to fight back because it's like, I don't want to do this anymore. And you're still, well, you're going to fucking do it. And that's a battle. That's a mental battle. And, you know, you have to put up with it if you still want to push through that goal.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about that you can take on into other stuff. I mean, because if you can do that, then you can do a couple extra hours of work to get the promotion. You can study a little bit more to get a better grade. You can do all kinds of stuff. You know, so you've been doing this, you said, about a year. Do you already have some kind of, because even me be doing this for 7 years, I can recall one or two clients or stories I have that are always going to stick with me because they were like crowning achievements to me as a trainer. Do you have any like any specific story or client, came in and you changed their whole perspective and it was kind of like a milestone for you?
Oh, yeah, I do. I do. So I found this one client who she's still working with me. Right now, she's not really in the gym much right now just because of COVID and we're still closed until Monday.
Yeah.
But she found me on Instagram through Honolulu Kitchen when they were helping me out, trying to like promote me. She's a working mom and she has worked with a few personal trainers in the past, that's what she's told me. But based on our conversation, they pushed her way too hard and she got injured. They didn't seem to care about her and they kind of just put her into like a cookie cutter diet where she wasn't eating enough. She was just miserable. That's what she pretty much had told me. So she found me and we started working together. And how I like to work with my clients is I like to build a rapport or I like a relationship and kind of understand what their lifestyle is like. So her favorite lift is the flat bench. So she likes to do just like with the barbell on the bench.
Okay.
And getting her to just move weight is like really easy. She'll complain a lot during the sessions. Like she'll be like, "This is so hard! Oh my gosh!" But then she'll look at me with like determination. She's like, "But I like this, so let's keep going." And I'm like, "Who are you?" And so she comes in kind of like all over the place at first, but she just hones right into training, and she gets so excited when we work together that she even recruited her close friend and her entire family, which is 3 girls and her husband, into the gym. And we're working on trying to get them to do like a family group session together so that they can all work out together at the same time. And that's something that I like the most about UFC is that we allow the whole family to come together.
Yeah.
Whether it's they break off and the kids go and do classes, or they do training, or the parents do training while the kids do training all at the same time, so they all get their activity out of the way. That's something that I really like about UFC. But she's also given me the best review to date. So she told me, and she's like, "Hey, can I tell you something? Can you promise to like not put my name next to this review?" And I was like, "Okay." So ever since I started working with you, you know that flap that old ladies get at the bottom of their butt? And I was like, "Okay." She's like, "Sorry, TMI, but it's gone. So I have like a nice butt now." And I was like, "Can you put that on Yelp? Because that's like a ad. Like, please, like that's like the best marketing review that I could get.
Yeah.
Woman." So I was like, but yeah, she's like, "Yeah, it's not saggy anymore. I don't have that saggy butt flap." I was like, "Good." But that's one of my favorite ones is just my clients get to be really open with me. I like it when they share their whole their life with me, and then I get to meet their family, and that's how I know that this isn't just a job.
No, it's not just a job.
It's impactful, it's purposeful. That's so rewarding.
Yeah. It's some people will end up sticking with you for years and you end up knowing everything about them. Like some people, there's a certain type of person, when they start working out, their filter drops and they just let everything out. I've heard some crazy shit, but that's one thing that, trainers also have to be therapists sometimes too. Just depends on who you have. One thing you said that I want to point out to other trainers there about what your client was going through before they came to you. Like, people know if you put them on a bullshit plan or some kind of cookie cutter plan, like they may try it and give you a little bit of trust, but at some point they're going to realize you're full of shit. So when you say that trainers that don't really care, it's more of a business to them than an actual career. People can smell that a mile away, because I've gotten people, and you will too, that have been to trainers like that and they immediately know they're full of crap and they want somebody that's more personalized. Because they're spending that money. They want somebody that they know is going to look and care for them and look at their specific situation. Because if they just want a cookie cutter plan, they would just Google something off the internet. I mean, anybody can look that stuff up. They need something unique. So, any of you trainers out there that are just getting started and want some advice, don't fall into that pitfall of trying to train 1,000 people and give them all the same shit, because it's not going to work very long. you'll have to constantly replace ones that fall out with new ones because you won't have anybody that stays with you, from my experience. Before we stop for the night, is there anything you want to, any words of advice or words of wisdom you want to give to any of the other trainers coming up, or anybody that's looking for a trainer, maybe what they should be looking for, or a step that trainers can take to start in the right direction?
Well, if you're just starting out, I want to say trust yourself, because if you already have all the answers. You already have all the answers. You have the training. You know more, and just by keeping somebody accountable, just by being there for somebody, than the average person. And then when I say average, I mean just like the person who's walking off the street, who has not done a lot of research, to really just trust yourself. It's okay to say that you don't know something, but do your due diligence and then do your research as well, and always follow up with each and every one of your clients. Also, care. That's my biggest one, is care. Because I believe that anybody, like you've said in just now, they will see through your bullshit. But if they know you care, and they understand that you care, and you want to push them and see them through their goals, communicate that, have them feel that, and know that each person is different.
Yeah, I've seen instances where somebody will come in and they'll have either a specific medical condition, be pre-diabetic, and they want to try diet before medication. They might be missing an arm, or they might be transgender and on hormones, and it's some kind of specific case to where most trainers, because they've never done it before, are going to kind of be weary. And from my experience, if you step forward and just say, hey, I've never done this before, but I kind of got an idea where we can go, so let's give this a shot. Just the fact that you show you're going to take the step forward and try is enough to get that person to say, okay, let's go. Let's just try. Because they would rather hear that than hear, well, we've never done this before, and I don't really know. They don't want to hear. I mean, if you don't know and you say, hey, but, I've got enough background knowledge and I can look up your stuff to where we're going to find a way to get this done, that's showing enough determination to get that person to be like, this is my guy, because they're going to try. If they don't, may not know how, they may, it take them a while, but they're going to figure it out.
Yeah.
And so you're exactly right. You have to come forward. You have to show that intuition, a little bit of care, to get people to know that you're serious about this job. Is not just like a paycheck.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can do that, that's all I've always told people that just get started when they ask me for advice is, don't worry about the business aspect. Just know you can do a damn good job, and the money will come after that. Because people talk, and out on the island, they call it coconut wireless. Everybody tells everybody stuff. Word will get around. People will start looking for you. And it's just if you can do your job. But if you don't, then you constantly have to do the corporate marketing, because there's no other way to get people in, because you don't know how to do your job. So, and also, you mentioned Yelp. That's also like a gold mine to bringing in people. I don't know. Everybody finds me on Yelp for some reason. I didn't think that ever worked, but I get a lot of people that find me through Yelp, and I hardly ever update it.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Do you have a website or anything, or just an Instagram, or?
I just have an Instagram.
Okay. You can go ahead and put it out, but I'll also put the links on the bottom of this video and podcast. If you guys want to follow her, I'll put the link down, so it'll take you directly to her page.
Yeah.
And you work at UFC Waikele, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you guys are in her area or train out there in Waikele, or you look for a trainer, hit up Nicole. I'll put her contact information in the description of this video or podcast. You guys can get a hold of her.
Oh, I also do classes. So.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's good. That's good. I'll put that down too. What type of classes?
So I am going to do like functional training and HIIT classes called Daily Ultimate Training through UFC, which will also be available online.
Really?
Yeah, it's going to be UFC Go. That's what it's going to be called. So if you're a member already with UFC and you're an Ultimate member, you can access my class, my Daily Ultimate Training classes online, which will be fun because you'll see everybody else working out too. And I'll also be training TRX and possibly more in the future.
I actually used to talk shit about TRX until I used it, and I was like, I might actually have to get one of these because they're going to come in handy. And during COVID, it came in very handy. I'm glad that I stopped being fucking stubborn. I looked some stuff up for it because that thing is awesome.
They look like nothing until you you realize you haven't been training core for a while, and the next day you're like, what the hell?
Yeah. Send me the info on the online stuff too. I'll put all that down there so people can follow and join the class and all that stuff too if you want. No problem.
All right, sounds
And
good.
all right. I'm trying to get something together soon where there's like a few of us that get on here from different gyms and we kind of hash out it, like either topics, diets, training, whatever, so people can kind of get a feel of how we all do stuff. So I would love to have you back on when we do that. I think I've got enough people I've interviewed to where we can do that now. So we might have to organize that if you want to sometime, just to help get some different ideas out there. Because I enjoy doing it because there's stuff that other people know that I don't, and I can learn from doing that.
Yeah.
I know we do that at IHF with the trainers there, but I would like to do it with trainers from other gyms all at the same time in here. So I think that would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, all right, Nicole, thank you so much for coming on. And guys, like I said, look in the description for information, and we'll hope to have you back soon.
Thank you so much. Bye.